Thanks, Matt. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 State of the Community event. We're really thrilled to have you here for what's going to be a really big day. My name is Martha Bartlett Pyland. I am President and CEO of MB Pyland Advertising and Marketing. I'm a longtime community volunteer, and I serve on the Go Topeka board. Like so many of you, I was drawn here today because I'm invested in Topeka and Shawnee County. And like many of you, I identify as an active and intentional participant in the things that we're trying to do to move this community forward. I actively think about not only what can I do, but how can I model my buy-in to the community. But then I might be thinking a little too much I, and me. Because there is I in community, it's also stuck in the middle with you. Thank you for that. So individually, we influence the community every day. But together, that's where we make waves, and that's where we make that community impact that really helps us grow. And no matter what path you're on or what brought you here, I think we all have something that's led us here today, and that is making an impact on our community. But before we continue, join me in welcoming Mary Stitham for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, that was wonderful. We are honored that we have so many of our public officials here to take time to be with us today. So I'd like to take a moment and welcome them. Please stand as I call your name. Virgil Weigel, Brenda Dietrich, Frida Warfield, Karen Hiller, Tony Emerson, Mike Padilla, Aaron Mays, Michael Lesser, Kevin Cook, Bill Refon, Bob Archer, and Gilda Lintz, Joe Badger, Whitney Temple, Vic Miller, Mayor Michelle de la Isla, Jeff Cohen. We thank you for your selfless service. Please join me in thanking our public officials. A special thank you to all of our sponsors, including Westar, the presenting sponsor, and Parish Hotels Corporation, the event sponsor. Now, without further ado, let us welcome Shawnee County Commissioner Bob Archer to the stage.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to start by recognizing and thanking our new commissioner, Bill Rippon, Commissioner Kevin Cook, our outstanding senior leadership team, and all of the employees of Shawnee County for their tireless service to our community. Please stand and let's applaud their service, please. You know, if you're like me, you know that listening to a speech by an accountant is really boring. I know I've done it many, many times, and I'm reminded of the definition of a CPA, and that is someone who wanted to be an undertaker, but just didn't have enough personality for the job. So you can breathe a sigh of relief as I tell you Shawnee County's story through videos. My theme today is we are building Shawnee County and we're creating quality of life. I want to highlight how Shawnee County is building quality of life and the quality of place in Kansas at the Expo Center, through Public Works, the Health Department, and our Parks and Recreation Department. Shawnee County is truly linked to Momentum 2022. First video will be about the Expo Center. As most of you know, Spectra took operation of the Expo Center in September 1st of 2017. And the entertainment experiences that we provide now have skyrocketed. We have more events and variety of events than we've ever had before. And through the sales tax, we are investing $48 million to upgrade and enhance the Expo Center. Take a look. Thank you. Take a look at what's in store. You'll be very impressed.
What the renovation brings to Shawnee County is more events at the Kansas Expo Center, more entertainment options for our community members at the Expo Center. That means reduced operating subsidies at the Kansas Expo Center, and that means more tax dollars staying in the county. One of the most exciting developments in the renovation project is that focus on the patron experience. Some of the pieces that are going in with the craft beer gardens and the expanded food and beverage opportunities are things that are really exciting, like the End Zone Bar. You can order a cocktail or a beer or maybe a small bite to eat and never miss a beat of the action. You have every play of every hockey game. You'll never miss your favorite song at any of the concerts that you come to. You'll be able to see everything while enjoying what the Expo Center has to offer. Obviously we're always going to have competition from an entertainment standpoint with, Kansas City, but we want to give them a facility that rivals that of our competition and gives them all of those experiential pieces that they haven't had before. What we really wanted to focus on was how do we join or marry together the exhibition hall and Landon Arena. One thing that we focused on was the expansion of the Northeast Entry Corridor, which will take that expansion of the building out towards the east. We'll have escalators and stairwells that are all indoors. You'll come inside to the Sky Zone box office and get your tickets, go up an escalator set, and end up right on the concourse right near the End Zone Bar and be able to start enjoying your fun at the event. Over the last 16 months, we've been able to realize an actual cost savings to Shawnee County taxpayers in excess of $806,000. That's nearly $1 million of saved taxpayer money that can go back out into the community in other tax-funded programs. When we expand out Exhibition Hall, that's going to add about another 30 to 35,000 square feet of usable space. With the expansion and gaining that additional square footprint at the facility, we're going to be able to attract those events and hopefully bring those events here to Topeka and Shawnee County. We will be developing and building out 3 additional suites as well as renovating the current one that we have. Premium seating atmosphere has been something that's been lacking in the facility for a very long time. So bringing that back into the renovation was something that was very exciting for us as well. A lot of the events that we'll be able to attract are larger scale sporting events. So NAIA sports, NCAA sports, a lot of the focus will continue to grow around the concert sector. We can also focus on family shows and spectacle events like Cirque du Soleil or Disney on Ice or any of those types of family shows that really create a full family entertainment atmosphere. It's going to be a facility that brings life into the community. It's going to give them a reason to stay in Topeka. It's going to be something to be proud of.
Shawnee County Public Works has a mission, and it is to provide the citizens of Shawnee County with a safe, cost-effective road, bridge, and stormwater drainage system. As the southeast area of our community grows around Lake Shawnee, and as the lake continues to attract more and more visitors, Public Works is widening and improving 29th Street. Take a look at what we're doing.
Well, I think with a good infrastructure system, it promotes having companies look to settle here in Topeka, to bring jobs to the city of Topeka, provide safety. It's just a good thing to have.
The project stretches from the Kansas Turnpike Authority to approximately 600 foot west of Croco Road. The major items of work are pavement replacement. We're going to turn the 2-lane road into a 5-lane thoroughfare. We're going to replace the bridge at Deer Creek, and we're going to widen the bridge over the KTA to accommodate a multi-use path. I would say development in the Croco Road, Southeast 29th Street area was driving this, and we wanted to be able to have something in place to accommodate that development and those improvements.
Well, the bridge on Southwest 37th Street over a tributary to the Chununga Creek, we've got that under construction right now, and it's basically replacing a narrow 2-lane bridge, a simple span structure with steel girders, and those girders were starting to wear and rust, and was going to basically become a safety hazard. Through our inventories and inspections, we found it and we got on it, and we were able to have the funds necessary to replace it.
It's not only what Tom Flanagan has done for Topeka, it's what he's done for all of Shawnee County. He works tirelessly to get things done that ultimately improve the community. People don't realize that. They drive over a bridge, they drive on a road. They don't know that Tom Flanagan was really instrumental in pushing these projects along.
Well, I think anytime you work to improve your infrastructure system, you're helping the people. They're paying the taxes, they want to get to work, they want to raise their families, and they want to have a nice infrastructure system to get around. I've lived in Shawnee County all of my life. I went to school here. I intend to be here as long as the good Lord lets me. It's my life. I want to make sure that Shawnee County and the city of Topeka are successful in what they do, and as an opportunity to be an engineer and working in public works, I've been able to accomplish that.
We tend to think of our health department and our Parks and Recreation department as working closely together. A healthier community is a stronger community, and a stronger community is a more vibrant and economically sound community. And it is through partnership and collaboration that we can have the largest impacts on the quality of life for all of Shawnee County residents. Parks and Recreation enhances our quality of life, increases real estate values, and helps attract and keep young families in the community. Parks and Rec facilities and programs and health enhance residents' health and promote economic vitality and long-term sustainability now and for future generations. Take a look.
A healthy community is an attractive community. If we want to attract people to live here and work here, play here, go to school here, we want to have a community that people want to live in. So I think health is basic to everything that we want to do. There is a grant that the Topeka Community Foundation has awarded to Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods and partnered with the health department in order to hire a community health planner. So the community health planner will be working with Momentum 2022, with our policymakers to report out on goals and tasks to make sure that what we are doing is helping us become a more healthy community.
Really excited to collaborate with Shawnee County Parks and Rec as the Shawnee County Health Department with a Kansas Governor's Council on Fitness grant, ultimately to increase visibility and access to the Shawnee County Trail Network. And so with this signage, what we've done here is mapped out and created points here as well as the distances between those. And so somebody who might want to pop on here at Crestview can see that it might only be 1 mile from here to Gage. And then from there, what they can do is map out how far they want to go and come back depending on what kind of exercise and what kind of fitness routine they're looking for. Our goal here is to ultimately spur people to get out and walk. And people really start thinking of the Trail Network as its own community. And ultimately from there, that spurs an entire different mindset and a societal shift into the way we look at not only health, but exercise here in the community.
Shawnee County Parks and Recreation now has over 60 miles of trails in their trail system. If you take a look at the map inside of our trail guide, you'll see that we're just a few miles of trails and a street project away from connecting the trails in southwest Shawnee County to the trails at and around Lake Shawnee. We're in the process of extending the Deer Creek Trail from 10th Street to 25th Street. Once that's complete, the trail will then wind through the Robinson Family Nature Area, then cross I-470 down to a newly widened 29th Street. And from that point, it's an easy connection to the trails here at Lake Shawnee. I can't stress the importance of something like that. Having that one trail that runs through the length of the community, that brings that community together.
The Women, Infant, and Children Program, or WIC as we call it, is a nutrition program that works with pregnant women, infants, and children up to the age of 5. So for WIC, we just looked at where do our participants live. We want to make it more convenient for almost half of our participants to be able to come to a clinic that's closer to their neighborhood. So Hillcrest Community Center was a natural fit for us. We have seen over 500 families since we started that last May.
Quality of life with a pool is it gives kids something to do during the summertime and get them a place to cool off, hang out with their buddies. Some of the newest improvements, we had a big old concrete frog that people used to enjoy a lot. It ended up getting old and we upgraded to a canoe. We had an old tube slide that people went down and we upgraded to an aqua zip-in. It's something relatively new on the market. We upgraded to a 1-meter diving board. We've done renovations inside. We have new doors all the way around.
In the park itself, we addressed a much needed area within our park, and we developed the first futsal court that is used every day. And we're resurfacing the basketball court. This is one of the few courts that have lights at night so you can play. Just being a resident that understands that you have a beautiful park, a safe park where your kids can go and play. That stigma that that was there in the past is totally gone. This is just one park that we're enhancing. We intend to enhance quite a few of our parks.
Almost every weekend there is a youth tournament at both of our youth sports complexes here at Lake Shawnee. Teams come from at least 7-8 state area around here, and we calculated last year that all of the tournaments that came through here had about a $5.25 million economic impact on the community. We're looking at providing multiple experiences when people come here. For instance, we're sitting here right next to the Bettis Family Sports Complex, and the reasons that we're looking at improving this Adventure Cove is because not all the kids will be playing baseball. Moms and dads will be looking for a place for younger kids. They'll be looking for places between games to hang out.
I believe that health and good health is economic development. It's helping the community have pride. It's helping with the quality of life here in Topeka and Shawnee County.
I also get excited because I start to see that light that's back in the people's eyes again. They feel confident in our department. They are encouraged by our department as I am encouraged. We can see that light in the tunnel again, and it's bright.
Quality of life is really our main objective. Everything that we do, whether it's trail enhancements, facility enhancements, even things like a master plan, those are all designed to increase the quality of life for the folks that live here in Shawnee County. I think it's a great time to live here, and I'm excited to be part of it.
I want to recognize and thank Sprout Communications for producing the videos for today's meeting. If you go down Kansas Avenue, you will see Sprout's green sign on the upper level of a building that they have remodeled into their headquarters. They are a homegrown business that won the contract to develop Parks and Recreation's new branding, and they continue to be a great supporter of our efforts. It's clear that Sprout is part of the positive momentum forward that we're seeing in our community. Finally, I want to thank you all for coming to today's meeting. To quote Darrell Stewart, I can see a light in people's eyes these days. Through our commitment, hard work, and partnership, we will accomplish the goals of Momentum 2022, and we should all be proud and excited to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Archer. I think we all appreciate your thoughtful service and some of the amazing things that you are doing. So now, please welcome to the stage the one and only Mayor Michelle De La Isla.
All right. Good afternoon. Oh God, this is not gonna work. We did this last year, people. Come on, good afternoon. Good afternoon. There we go. This is a celebration of your community. This is a celebration of all of your efforts. And I am so excited to be here today. Before I get started, I wanna say thank you to Commissioner Archer. Commissioner Archer started in the City Council, and I will never forget when we were coming to advocate for downtown being revitalized. He was one of those individuals that was there when that momentous vote that allowed for us to have the $5 million for us to have the infrastructure changes and everything that we have going on down there. None of that would have started without City Council passed. So please help me recognize Commissioner Archer for his service in our community. So as we get started and start talking about what happened in Topeka last year, right? We start looking at the fact that there were some minor elections. Anybody know what happened? So in the state capitol, we elected a Topekan. We elected Ms. Laura Kelly to be our governor. And it is, if somebody was gonna clap, if you wanna clap, you can. Absolutely, let's celebrate her. And it's been wonderful to see already the outreach that this administration has been having into the community. I think I have been at the Capitol building more. I get highs when I get in because I'm starting to recognize some lobbyists, which is kind of scary. But it's been wonderful to have that partnership and to just start seeing how we're all working together to better our communities. The next group of individuals that I want to speak about is a very important group of people, and that is my team. That is the City Council. These individuals work tirelessly. It was really interesting that people started talking when I was running if I was able to do my job and do the City Council and being a mayor. Well, all of the individuals, a good number of those individuals that are on your council are employed. And they're doing this not because we want to become rich. These individuals are serving your community with intention and with passion. They all work so hard. And if you have any questions, just check out how long our meetings last. Last Tuesday, we all left after 10. And I left a little bit earlier, but they stayed till 10. And that has become the common norm right now of your city council. We sit down, we laugh together, we talk about our families, we celebrate each other. And most importantly, even though sometimes on some items we may disagree, we agree on the fact that we are all human and we all have value. And that most people don't understand the amount of effort that we put into it. So before we go anywhere, I want to have all of them stand up yet again. And I want to have the City Council be recognized one more time. So let's start talking about the things that have been happening in our community. We have in operation, one of the things that came back, as you all probably heard or read in CJ, we did a survey to our community to start to understand a little bit of what our constituents, what you are asking of us. And one of the things that you talked about was customer care. We have been talking in our city about how we improve processes. Our city manager has taken the Herculean effort of going to whole staff, do something called RPI. That is rapid process improvement. And we have different individuals in our departments talking and looking at every single process. And for a Lean Six Sigma freak like I am, like my heart sings, because you're eliminating things that are not efficient, right? And we're looking and we're having conversations on how we serve you better in every single one of our departments. So we are very excited about that. The other thing that I want to talk about is the fact that we recently had a 1/2-cent sales tax passed, which is called the Fix Our Street tax, right? A lot of our constituents, when you go back to that survey, we're talking with regards to, they were really concerned about the condition of our streets. If you were to look at our PCI when we started, for those of you who are not tired of hearing what a PCI is, it's a pavement condition index. Again, I apologize, I'm a data nerd. So we went ahead and took a look at all the roads of our community, and I'm gonna give you a big surprise here. Wait for it. The score that our city got from 100 was a 55. Wow, it was a surprise, right? Well, and the first thing that I want to say is, in all transparency, we knew that we had issues with the roads. For a while there, we had some issues with our economic situation. As we all know, we went through the 2008 downturn, and it came in later on, and it started impacting us. And when those sales tax dollars were not coming in, some of the decisions that were hard to be made were limiting a little bit of the deferment of our road treatments. And we are now working on that. What I'm excited to tell you is that in just 1 year, even before that that Fix Our Street tax got into effect, we've already gone up 1 point of that PCI. We actually went up to 57. However, something happened this winter. This white stuff started coming down from the sky, and we started having an impact on our roads. So we had gone from 55 to a 57 PCI score, and we went down to a 56. And that's even before we started really tackling. How many of you, just by a show of hands, drove on what I call a pop-up street, which is that you were driving the day before and you were like, and then you woke up in the morning and it was like, what happened? I got so many emails on those. It's just like, what happened? It's called microsurfacing. Our city has started a brand new program in which we are really tackling major projects that we could just microsurface and extend the life of that road for 5 extra years, saving all of you, our constituents, additional funding. Another area that I want to talk about our community is public safety. The year prior, we had the highest amount of homicides that we had ever had. And it was of great concern to our community to have that conversation. And it may surprise you that in a celebration of our community, I'm addressing some of those challenges. But we don't progress if we don't address what we have right now, right? Because we addressed it, because we talked about the tensions in our community that we were having in areas in our community that were not feeling represented, that were not feeling like they were taken into account the way that they wanted to, we started coming together and we started implementing programs. The chief and I and other members of our community started working together and listening and understanding that sometimes crimes repeat themselves, not because there's bad people, but because maybe sometimes the families that feel like they are in danger don't have any protection, even if those families were the families of the person that hurt somebody else. There's so many things that we're learning right now as we are going with our police department. But you know what has happened after we have started engaging our community and having some really hard conversations? Our crime rates have dropped double digits. Let me even give you a better number. As all of you know, I'm a passionate advocate for inclusivity. We did a survey to take a look at how many people of color we are pulling over. Because nationwide, disproportionately, minorities are being pulled over. And that's when things happen, and that's why we have so many minorities incarcerated. Well, let me tell you, my friends, that this is not happening in the city of Topeka. The chief recently had a press conference, and we took a look at those numbers, and we are actually pulling people over at the same rate as we have them in our population. Those are the things that are helping. Thank you. Thank you. That is, Chief, thank you. That is the city that you're living in. The other thing that I want to talk about a little bit is economic development. We're so excited about the things that are happening in our city. We have projects such as the Wheatfield project. And I know, some people are feeling a little bit emotional with regards to the TIFs and the CIDs. And I want to tell you that every single one of your council members is making sure that whenever we give a tax increment fund allotment, or if we do a CID project, we are taking a look at the investment that we're going to get back in our community. Wheatfield is a great example. We toiled with this one. We wanted to make sure that we got it right. From now on, we've changed our policy. We're not going to bond anymore to help our developers. We're going to do pay-as-you-go, which ensures that our community is not going to have the issue of having to pay for something that they're not going to get the benefit for. So we have Wheatfields, and the other project that is coming is the Evergy Plaza. We are talking about quality of life, and it is exciting to think that back in 2007, when I started working with a crazy group of people with Mike Morse, Neil Dobler, Jim Parrish, and Scott Gales, and a whole bunch of people that were talking and dreaming about what downtown would be, one of the things that we had as a cornerstone was a plaza. And back in the day, I remember we were all thinking, and it was just like, how are we going to ever get the money to make this happen? How are we ever going to make this happen? However, all of you in this room have come together, and with the generosity of CapFed and Evergy, which is Westar Energy and KCP&L, we now have the funds to get going on this project. I don't know how many of you have driven through downtown, but there's a big gaping hole. And it's a good thing. The other thing that I do want to touch upon is the fact that somebody asked me recently what I want my legacy to be when I'm done in this job. And I said, my legacy, I wish, is that we have a community in which everybody embraces everyone the way that they are, that you can be who you are and just thrive in this city, that our community develops a sense of pride in themselves. And I want my legacy to be one of education, one in which all of us in our community constantly know that we don't have the answers and that we have to still keep asking questions. Because it's only by being humble and acknowledging that we don't have all the answers that we move things forward. Part of that legacy is Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. We have sent 10 Topekans to Harvard, and they have come back to this community. You have City Manager Trout, Jason Peak is gonna go, and you have what I call the Bloomberg Harvard Topeka 8. These awesome people, which by the way, the hardest thing in my life, I think dealing with the public safety issues was really hard, but having to choose 8 people out of all of you was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. But everybody was chosen strategically. Each of these individuals represents one of the pillars of Momentum 2022. And I tell you what, they went to Harvard, and Harvard has been wowed by all of you. And these things don't happen by coincidence. They happen because Topeka is nothing but the compilation of a whole bunch of beautiful people coming together and being. We are excellence. That group is excellence. So say thank you to them really quick. We also want to congratulate the Topeka Metro for winning the KPTA Transit of the Year, the Willie M. Murphy Awards, and the SWTA Transit Marketing Award. One of the awesome things that we did is, as we're trying to eliminate barriers and be an inclusive community, we developed a program with JADO in conjunction with the county called the Neto and Soto routes. We have given rides to 9,511 people to get to work. Those are lives changed that probably were not able to get to work because of the third shift. And thanks to our partnership and the nimbleness of the Topeka Metro, we are now able to take people to work and continue eliminating barriers in our community. I would be remiss if I don't ask Susan Duffy. Where's Susan? Susan, thank you for your leadership. We are sorely going to miss you. We did something pretty awesome as well. We have a Brown v. Board mural that is absolutely stunning. Many of you may not celebrate this as much, but y'all know that you are the home of Brown v. Board, right? Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. In our efforts to celebrate our identity, we had a partnership through the Grants of Arts Connect and the Topeka Police Department. And our community came together, and it was one of the most beautiful things. We had children painting. We had families coming together, groups of people expressing themselves right in front of the school where history was made. And that is something that we are to be proud of. Topeka, these things don't happen everywhere. So I want you guys to turn to each other, come on, audience participation time, and say, you made a difference. Yes, yes, I love it. Ooh, I feel the good stuff coming in. So, also as we continue celebrating our community and eliminating barriers, again in partnership with the county, through the Joint Economic Development Organization, we have been able to start the Washburn Tech East Campus, which is what we call the East Topeka Learning Center. The cool thing about that is that we had, as always in construction, right? How many of you have had to deal with change orders and, things changing constantly and not being done when you say they're going to be done? But when that happened, again, Topeka stood up. And you had T.D. Hicks. Is Pastor Hicks here tonight, this afternoon? Pastor Hicks? Okay, he's not here. So make sure that you give him props when you see him, because he opened up the Antioch Family Life Center. And the individuals that were ready to get enrolled and to do classes, instead of being told, no, you can't do it, they are now right there next door to where that school is going to be because of his generosity. So I'm about to wrap it up, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Momentum 2022. But before we go there, Commissioner Archer talked about his theme, right? My theme, I'm a Hamilton freak. Hi, I'm Michelle. I love Hamilton. My theme when I was running for office was I'm not throwing away my shot. How many of you have heard the song? A lot of people, yeah, okay. So I want you guys to say this with me just so that we could get pumped up. We are not throwing away our shot. 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 We are Top City proud. We are Top City proud. Everybody say it loud. Everybody say it loud. We are not throwing away our shot. To wrap this up, I'm going to invite a friend of mine to help me here. SJ, could you please join me? And by the way, just in case, I'm sorry, not really. We're doing this?
Just do it.
All right.
Just do it.
Somebody said Top City, still the same.
Who said that?
I forget his name, some naysayers who don't rock with me.
Wow, Michelle, you so top city. You everywhere and you stay pushing.
I got no choice, the whole state's looking.
I seen the negative commenting.
I receive messages all written by many who have an attitude.
Or short fuse like a bomb ticket.
I get hate mail, I turn gray still, I remain still, although I'm driven.
I get hate too. I relate too. Every word that you say is true. We gon' love them anyway and forgive them.
Let me tell you about our city's momentum.
Go, 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 go.
We are not throwing away our shot. Come on, we are not throwing away our shot. We are top city proud. Everybody say it loud. We are not throwing away our shot. Top City's all about inclusive prosperity. The youth council's up. Inclusion is everything. Forge is in effect and they're hitting heavy. East Topeka Learning Center is fitting to be ready. We can take you to work where there is north to south. We partner with Topeka Metro and made a route. Bloomberg, Harvard was a great ordeal. It helped us a lot, but we're learning still. Quality of life
is a real big deal.
Crime rate is down, you can just ask Bill. SPCP was a great endeavor. Bringing the police and the people together. We are the hashtag TOP City. Our downtown is growing quickly. The iron rail and the pennant is up.
Quality Cyrus is filling up.
The next thing coming. The next thing coming.
It continues growing.
Well, not accomplished, but there's more to come. This song might be over, but we still ain't done. We are not throwing away our shot. Come on, we are not throwing away our shot. We are top city proud. Everybody say it loud. We are not throwing away our shot. We are not throwing away our shot. We are not throwing away our shot. We are top city proud. Everybody say it loud. We are not throwing away our shot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, SJ. Wow. Okay. If you aren't excited by now, you are in the wrong place. Now, before I introduce you to the next speaker, I would like to take just a minute to talk to you about Expedition Montgomery. For those of you who don't know about it or haven't heard of it before, intercity visits offer community leaders from both public and private sectors the opportunity to go to another community and learn some of their best practices, to learn more about innovative ideas and knowledge from other cities. This fall, we are headed for the central hub of the civil rights movement, Montgomery, Alabama. And there, we will learn directly from community leaders on important topics like tourism, economic development, entrepreneurship, riverfront development, diversity and inclusion, education, local government, and more. It will be a short trip packed full of really important, inspiring ideas. So please enjoy this video to find out more.
Well, it's a city that's similar size, and we're just trying to see what they're doing and hope to take some of those ideas back to Topeka.
I think it's been a fantastic trip.
great opportunity to visit another community with a lot of similar challenges that Topeka has.
I learned about different things with Cradle Through Career and the way they've really been impacting children and be able to then meet the needs of the community businesses. And we also learned that this isn't something that happens really quickly, but rather something that will take some time, and we just have to be committed and have a can-do attitude.
Some of the things that they've done here are absolutely phenomenal. If we have the idea, let's make it happen.
So be sure to watch your emails and communications from the partnership on how you can register. You do not want to miss out on the expedition. Now I want to introduce a group of young people who are looking forward to moving the needle on teen involvement in Topeka and Shawnee County. Please give a warm welcome to Lindsay Laban, Executive Director of Forge and the Topeka Youth Commission.
So the Topeka Youth Commission was formed with the intent to involve and engage the young community in Topeka. They're 14 to 21-year-olds that are eager to get involved, and we can't wait to do it, but don't take my word for it. Please welcome to the stage some of our Youth Commission.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bryce Lidke, and I'm a junior at Shawnee Heights High School. I am also the chair of the Topeka Youth Commission, and so we're just going to go down the line and introduce ourselves and say one thing we love about Topeka. For me, it's the youth that are in this room. So can the members of the Topeka Youth Commission stand up? These amazing youth, along with us up here, make up about half of the Topeka Youth Commission. These youth lead a future of resiliency, optimism, innovation, compassion, creativity, and most importantly, a love for our community. All of us continue to impress people by the way we hold ourselves and the love that we have. All of these youth have surprised me, including myself a little bit, of how much we want to see this Topeka grow. So as we move forward, I'm really fortunate to live in a community where adults care just as much as the youth do about the future of our city.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa Reyes, and I am a senior at Highland Park High School. What I love about Topeka the most is our awareness and commitment. I feel that Topeka is aware of our problems, and we don't try to sugarcoat it or hide it. We make a commitment to try to make positive progress.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oscar Itana. I am a sophomore at Highland Park High School. And one thing that I love about Topeka is the way that we all come together and, just as I kind of want to say a family, because from what I've seen so far, we're doing really good.
Hello, I'm Aditi Malay, and I'm a junior at Washburn Rural High School. And one thing that I really love about Topeka is the fact that even though we may be small, we still get access to so many opportunities, which really gives credence to the saying that we are small and mighty.
So I just want to run through with you real quick just the history of our organization and kind of how we came to be. So back last July, we held a summit at the library with Youth on Boards from Boston. And from that conversation kind of precipitated this idea of having a youth council. Originally, that was just going to be a council within the city of nine members, each of each district. And from there, with the help of Melissa Masoner, we brought on Carolyn Ward, who has been an amazing facilitator for us and really kept us all together. But along with adult advocates such as Leo Espinosa and our planning team, we realized that there was a potential for so much more than just that. So through that, we started to create what is now known as the Topeka Youth Commission. So I kind of want to have you imagine a house, and the roof of the house is the Greater Topeka Partnership. That's our fiscal agent and organizational home, where under them we work directly with Lindsay, with Forge, since our goals parallel so nicely. And within the house is the Topeka Youth Commission. That's where the work happens, where everything gets accomplished. But our foundation is engagement and advocacy. And what that looks like is we want to engage youth all over Topeka around boards, and then also advocate for or against things that we want to see in our community. Through that, we have 3 different subcommittees. The first one is local government, so that houses our Top City Youth Council, which is our 9 members that are in the city. Also possibly county boards, and then any other local government boards. Our second is outreach, and I'll leave that for Oscar. He's going to speak a little bit about that later. And then our third is community involvement, which involves nonprofit, volunteering, and corporate business. So any boards within the community and volunteering opportunities. So with that, and now that you know a little bit more about the commission, I'm going to hand it over to Vanessa.
So I heard about the Topeka Youth Commission through my school. There were flyers everywhere, and a lot of my school's faculty and teachers were really encouraging me to apply. I didn't understand why at first, but then I realized once I figured out what the Topeka Youth Commission's goals were, that I had to apply, because within my school, how it usually goes is a lot of the teachers and faculty are part of these boards, and they make the higher up decisions, but they need youth input. So they come back to the school, and it's usually to me or Oscar, since we are involved a lot within our school and adamant about hearing our students' inputs and opinions. They come to us, and they ask us for our advice. So we give it, and they say thank you. And then after we say thank you, that's it. We never know what happened. We don't know if they communicated our ideas clearly. We don't know if they even took it back to the table. But with the Topeka Youth Commission, it actually gives us a seat at the table to make sure our voices and ideas are heard clearly, and to make sure that we have a voice and a say on things that are going to impact us directly. So while this is our first year, we have already made so much progress, and I'm sad that I'm a senior and I won't be able to continue on, but I know they're gonna make so much positive change and a big impact.
Okay, sorry. Being in the youth commission so far has really been an amazing experience for me so far. I first heard about the youth commission back in February when my principal told me about it, and she recommended me to apply. I hesitated when she told me to apply because I was already involved in so many things, but I told myself that it wouldn't hurt to apply and, just be involved in one more thing. And but I ended up submitting the form and waited for a call, and here I am now. I really wanted to be in the youth commission because I'm just really passionate about being involved. And coming from a Hispanic family, it also really meant a lot to my family and Latino friends that I, have. And I really hope to accomplish so many goals being here. And I am currently chair of community outreach. And that being said, there are a lot of goals and ideas that we do have. One being a drive-in movie theater for youth to come out and have more fun. And working with my group, there will be Training will play a big part in this. Therefore, because we are a big, diverse youth commission and we have a big range of people.
Hello, everyone, again. I'm very excited to talk to you about the Youth Commission because it really shows that our community isn't abiding by that belief that youth may be immature or uninformed, but rather have the ability to take a stand on something and have it be meaningful. And I think this is really emphasized in a quotation by Kofi Annan, a Ghanaian diplomat in 2001, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. And he said that from creating startups to igniting revolutions, young people have been toppling the old structures and processes that govern our world. Just imagine what solutions might be found if young people are given the space and encouragement to participate and lead. And that's exactly what our community has done by creating the Topeka Youth Commission. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of that. And so the importance of youth engagement is obviously that we are affected by certain issues that are currently occurring, and we're going to have to deal with them once we grow into our adulthood. And so by being involved with them at a young age, we understand certain processes and also understand how our ideas are going to impact the way certain issues play out in the future and how they're going to affect us. So the Topeka Youth Commission gives representation and a greater voice for youth and allows us to be able to do that. And so for me personally, what I'm really looking forward to being a part of in terms of discussion are issues like gun control and mental health awareness, because these are two significant issues that greatly impact our demographic, yet we don't really have much of a platform. But the Youth Commission creates this coalition of youth and gives us that platform to advocate for ourselves. And this is really incredible and also amazing because it gives representation to those underrepresented people. For me, as a young female student of Indian heritage, I don't see people like me representing in our community or in the country as a whole, but the Youth Commission provides me that platform to advocate for myself and people like me, which is really unparalleled in other places, I feel. And I'm also involved in the Top City Youth Council, so that gives me direct dialogue with the mayor herself and allows me this great opportunity that I never could have imagined was possible, especially in Topeka. But I get to, as well as the rest of the youth on the board, get access to certain organizations that allow us to provide our opinions and our input on issues that affect us today.
So real quickly, as we're wrapping up here, I just want to thank all of the organizations, including Washburn, who has provided funding for us, and then we have a formal relationship, GTP, who has agreed to be our fiscal sponsor, Leo Espinosa, Carolyn Ward, who have all been facilitators through this, and all the other organizations through Topeka who have really opened up their doors for us and helped us out. So thank you so much.
Wow, can we all see that our future is in fantastic hands? I'll say thank you to Lindsay and the commission. I can't wait to see what you do next. So in 2018, Forge made a promise to the community to present us with a city flag that we could be proud of, that would represent our identity, and was help us usher in a shift in the city's overall culture. Easy, right? Well, I think they've tapped into something because over 4,000 community members were involved, coming together to make their mark on the Topeka Flag Project. 4,000. So to tell us a little bit more about the project, here's Leo Espinosa, and Brittany Crabtree.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all feeling? Woo! Great. We are here today to celebrate the end of one chapter, which has been more than a year long now, and the beginning of a new one. My name is Leo Espinoza. I'm the career advocate at Topeka High.
And I'm a little shorter than him. I'm Brittany Crabtree.
And I'm Lindsay LeBon with Forge.
This project began long before the phase to submit designs was public. So long before we were able to ask the public to get involved with this project, we, the planning committee, which was composed of Gabe O'Shea, Mikala Saunders, and Brittany Crabtree, were meeting in January to talk about what this could look like. We're here to announce the final flag, but I would like to ask you to give them a round of applause for all of their help with this initiative, because it would not have been able to be done without them. I also would like to thank all of the elected officials who have been so graceful in supporting us and in lending us their advice and feedback in terms of the process, which includes, of course, the council as well as the mayor. So thank you so much. And we also would love to thank Lindsay LeBon, who has been instrumental in making sure that so much of the behind the scenes is taking place. So Lindsay, thank you so much for all your help with this project. And lastly, but certainly not the least, we would not have been able to carry this out without the generous support of John Federico at Federico Consulting, who was instrumental in making sure that there was a very clear incentive, which was, of course, cash prizes to people who submitted designs. So John, I'm not sure if you're here, but wherever you are, thank you so much for your help. Last summer, when we opened up this project, we received over 300 submissions, which was incredible for a community of our size. We got submissions from people of all ages, from elementary school kids to people who have now been retired for quite some time. After that, though, the design phase was not the beginning. It was not the end. It was only the beginning. And so Brittany's going to tell us a little bit about what happened afterward.
Thank you for lowering the mic. So first of all, I just want to say in front of this group that I remembered to bring the flag up here. This felt like a big responsibility that Lindsay gave me. And we're really excited to unveil it in a moment. But before I do, Leo's right. The design phase was just the beginning. We received nearly 1,000 responses. So again, just the community was talking about this flag. We were on to something. And yes, some people loved it and some people hated it and some people said don't do it. And so we had our work cut out for us, synthesizing down that data and really figuring out what does the community want us to know and how are we going to make sure this flag represents all of us. And so it's been quite the project. Some of you know I'm a coach with the Kansas Leadership Center, and at some point along the way I reflected and realized this was a leadership challenge in the language of the KLC. We had stakeholders, we had factions, we had uncomfortable conversations, we had to change course multiple times. Even if we had a plan and we were proud of it, we had to reroute because it wasn't about what we wanted, it was about what the community wanted. And that really pushed us to be better along the way, and the final result is better because of it. So thank you for that candid conversation. Ultimately, we made progress, and I hope 100 years from now, another group comes together and says, does this flag still represent us? That's what it's about. And so I'm really proud of what happened, and before we unveil it, I do want to say there's a saying that sometimes I remind myself. You may have seen a really funny TED Talk about it. Sometimes it's not about being the leader, it's about being the first follower. And so as we unveil this flag, I invite you to follow the flag, to say, yes, I'll embrace it. I'll hang it at my business. I'll wear the lapel pin. I'll show that I am proud to be a Topekan. As I headed over here today, somebody from Lawrence said, I hope Lawrence does this next. And I thought, yeah, Do what Topeka does. Be the first follower. Okay. Did you want to add anything, Lindsay? Okay, Lindsay.
Can we get a drum roll, please?
So, an overwhelmingly 70% of our community wanted this flag to be the new Topeka flag.
Thank you, Leo and Brittany and Lindsay. The flag looks amazing. I think we're all really excited about sharing our community pride. Thank you again to our sponsors for making this event possible. A special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Westar KCP&L Evergy Companies, and our host sponsor, Parish Hotels. Thank you to everyone who made time and came out to this event. I hope you are so excited and enthused that you want to share that with everybody who wasn't here. Be sure to wear your Topeka flag with pride. There are order forms on your chairs if you would like to get more and share them around. So last but not least, there's no community without you and I. And I'm truly grateful to be part of all of this with you. Thank you and have a great day.